And it is TGP2 night. And it's rounds 4, 5, and 6. Baku, Spain, and then Monaco, I believe. I tell you what, it's tight. It's very tight at the top. Very, very tight. The question is it going to be dry or wet? It's one-shot quali. There's 3 races a night. I am live right now. And it's dry qualifying with regards to that. So it's dry, and the question is that I must ask, is the race going to be dry or wet? That is the key question. And it is a key question, and it should be an interesting one. Hopefully it's dry. And I hear from my pit lane sources, Dominic Smith, his name is, FOM Peasant, is going to transition into wet rain for the race. So that could be very interesting. But the question is right now, it is time for qualifying, and it's one shot as well. So we will have to see what it's going to be like and who's going to be on pole position down into turn 1. It's Kong as he runs wide. I see Bossman Sean now in the lead. So it's going to be quite interesting to see who's going to be the fastest. It could be anyone's guess really. Baku's a very difficult circuit, and it's very easy just to bottle it, as it were. At the moment, we've got 3 title contenders at the moment. You've got Erland on 51 points, you've got Jordan on 50 points, and you've got the title favourite, some say, of Jack Craig, or on PSN Elite Shots, only on 45, so it's very close at the top. And actually, obviously the returnee of Going's been in Africa for, I'd say, about a month with the military. He is American, in 3rd place, and now he's in 2nd, so he's doing very well for himself at the moment. Here comes the castle section. You want to bottle it in here. You bottle it, actually qualifying, done and dusted. And it actually looks quite tight at the top, to be fair, as Chris Johnson runs it a bit wide there. Will cost him a bit of time, but not too much. And Angel versus Death has retired from this section. Probably bottled it in the castle section, but you never know. And Dom Smith, I'm sure, has bottled it as well there. But at the moment, it's close. It's Sean, Goings, and Jordan neck and neck. I think it may be Sean that has it. Oh, Goings is now in P1, it looks like. It could be a very close battle, but I think now it just depends on straight line speed, and I do believe Goings has actually got this. He had a much better final sector, so Goings, well, should get pole, and indeed he does, and it's very close between Jordan and Sean for P2 and P3. And actually, I'm quite surprised. The top 5 are very close, as Erlang had actually disconnected, sadly. He may not be able to get in, as he is the championship leader as well, so that is a massive blow for himself if he cannot get in. But you never know, the title contenders could easily crash us. Here we go. Erland, it shows as P1, but that's not the case. He's disconnected. 39-2 Goings, Jordan in 3rd, Sean 4th, Chris Johnson, a very good P5 for himself, Inverness Fan 6th, the favourite in 7th in Elite Shots. Dom Smith, not a bad qualifying for himself in P8. Dexter, as a Dexter's Laboratory in P9. King Kong himself in P10. Daziek 11th. Red Bull Kim in 12th. And F1 Baz in 13th with James Botham and Angel vs. Death. And then, of course, Erland rounding out the top. Well, I was going to say top 10, but the grid itself. But I do not believe Erland will get in, as we are about to start the race. So massive blow for himself, and it's very cloudy, I believe, right now. It is very, very cloudy, but apparently it should rain at the race, and well, hopefully it stays off for most of the races. This circuit, at the best of times, is not very grippy at all. In the wet, it is horrendous, let's just say that. It's not the greatest at all, but yeah, 20 seconds until the session starts. Turn 1 and Turn 2 could be very interesting. Very tight Turn 2 is. Very easy to lock up at Turn 1 though, and ruin your own race right there and then. I definitely think the top 3 should take it a bit easier into Turn 1. They don't want to ruin their races instantly. But we shall take a look And Erlang has rejoined, but I do believe it may be too late for him if the drivers are already on the grid. But we will see. He may rejoin, and yet I don't believe he has. And I believe we're away already, so that's an interesting one. It was very quick as Chris Johnson, and there's chaos behind as I'm not even looking at this, but yeah, obviously Inverness fan has made it into P3, and he's attacking Jordan. He's going to try and go around the outside of turn 3, and I do believe he makes it stick, runs a bit wide, but now he's got the inside line for turn 4, so that's very good. But Elite Shots is down to 10th position already, so that is not good, but it's very close. Bossman Sean now looking at Jordan, however Jordan does have, and Bossman Sean there slightly clipping the wall, but he should have a good exit into this next corner. Will he try it and he's doing it up the inside just before the castle, and that is a very true. However, Jordan now has the inside line and he backs off. Very smart of Jordan there, very smart. As I do believe Inverness fan nearly make a mistake, but it is returning the American Goings, as I believe there has been a crash between James Botham and Daziek in the castle section, and Daziek does have a bit of front wing damage. However, Goings, perfect start for himself, a 1.7 second lead already, so I think it's looking very good for Goings if he gets the tyre strategy right, and depending on that weather later on. And James Botham has retired there, not the greatest for himself, and I can confirm as well that Erland did not rejoin, and it's getting a bit feisty at the back. F1 Baza and Inverness fan, it's nearly two wide at the moment. It could be 3 wide at the moment. Bossman Sean, Inverness fan, and Jordan coming around the outside, nearly getting squeezed there, very close for himself. As we do look, and bit of contact there, Jordan narrowly avoiding the wall there, but Inverness fan, well, still side by side there between them both, and I do believe Inverness fan has actually got wing damage, as far as I can tell on the spectator cam. They're not good for Inverness fan, but we'll see. It could be very interesting as Inverness fan does pull out. And Dom trying, very difficult there. I think very aggressive move by Dom there as James Bottom leaves. And Inverness fan in the wall, so that's going to be more damage for himself. But now Bossman Sean has got a 2.8 second lead. And I believe will Dom let Jordan back through? I don't think he will. I think Jordan may have front wing damage with regards to that, but at the moment, as Inverness fan has retired from the race, I think that was actually before the castle section, as Dom Smith letting Jordan back through, very sportsmanlike from Dom there. I think it was a very aggressive move, and that is good to see. But sportsmanship in TGP2 is never a bad thing. However, I must say at the moment, Bossman Sean slightly closing the gap on Goings in P1. It was about 2.7, is now 2.5. But in terms of this race, it's actually very interesting because all of the championship title contenders, other than Jordan, having a real struggle. Jack Craig at the moment is in 7th place. Erland, sadly, as the championship leader, did not get back in the lobby. And well, Jordan is definitely up there. Chris Johnson's actually in P4 in the championship at the moment on 44 points. So only a bit of time to go. And Dom Smith here looking to regain that position that he let back through with Jordan there. He should have DRS this lap. Jordan staying very to the right actually. I do know when you go out of the white lines it gives you a bit less grip, but is too far back to dive it unless he tries an overambitious move. And Jordan runs very wide, and that is his wing completely gone. Very easy move there from Dom Smith. Maybe Jordan was a bit unsighted, maybe was a bit worried about Dom trying an overambitious move. However, it weren't too bad, to be honest with yourself. I think Dom did the right thing, but now Jordan's race isn't necessarily over. There could very easily be a safety car at Baku, but now Angel versus Death is actually in P5, which is a very good position for himself, and there's a yellow flag somewhere. And Bossman Sean from P2 bins it in the castle section. That is not good for himself. And Jordan has as well there. And actually, now Elite Angel versus Death is right behind Jordan, so that's going to be a very interesting one. And Jordan actually lets Angel versus Death through. I think there's no point fighting it. And Elite Shots nearly getting taken out trying to get past there. But actually, to say Elite Shots was down in P6, P7 just 4 laps ago, well 4 corners ago, he's on P4, so it's how quick this thing can change. Oh, and Angel versus Death a bit wide there. Oh, Elite Shots nearly get put it in the wall there as Going sets the new fast lap, nearly 10 seconds in the lead. And at the moment, obviously, well, Angel versus Death cannot do anything with Elite Shots with his DRS. It's Chris Johnson now ahead into P6, ahead of his teammate, obviously, and of course, Jordan Pitts. Very early, I'd say. He may be able to get the mediums to the end. However, it's going to be an interesting one. Actually, let's take a look at everything in terms of position changes. So Angel vs Death is the big winner, up 11 places. Dom Smith up 6 places as well, and obviously, yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag, as it were. Only at the moment, obviously Jordan is the first and only one to make his pit stop. And let's have a look at the tyres as well, shall we? So Dexter in P8 started on the mediums. Jordan has actually gone onto the hard tyres, as well as Kong Hoffner started on the medium as well, and Baza started on the hardest. I don't think it's paid much to them at this point in time. And Goings very easily comfortable in the lead there, and actually he's I'd say he's cruising. He's got 78% hers, so he's pretty much cruising it, and he's pulling a good gap over P2 of Dom Smith. And actually, luckily for Dom has not got any wing damage. I mean, sometimes the start of the race can be a bit difficult starting mid-pack, and sometimes there can be a bit of damage, and this time Dom Smith has got away with it. And I must say as well, Dom Smith at the moment is in P10 in the standings, only on 7 points, so he's pretty much going to beat his best result of the season. So tripling his tally, I believe it is. I'm terrible when it comes to maths. I can't even do 1 + 1, to be honest. So it's not almost, I believe, as he nearly loses it there coming onto that back straight. However, Elite Shots, I do believe, is closing him down, only 1.8 seconds behind. And to be fair, you'd expect it to be an easy move for Elite Shots. Third in the championship, title favourite, many will say. So I think it's going to be difficult, and I think if Dom is smart, he won't hold him up, because it's not really going to be a battle that is going to be in long term for race positions. And shout out to one person who is actually doing quite well this race, Red Bull Kim in P7. Is a bit of a ways around Chris Johnson in P6, 12 seconds off. However, it's not too bad, and Chris Johnson then on Daziek for P5. He's going to dive it on the inside at turn 3. He is. Is he going to make it stick? And he makes it stick. That is perfect move for Chris Johnson. Nice and easy move there for Desiek. And now it's 1.2 second gap between Dom Smith and Elite Shots in P3. And I do believe Goins may have nearly binned it just then in the castle section. I do believe he did. However, Goings in the one session I believe he did before this race, he actually binned it in the castle section, but I don't think there's any need. Michael Kenny, obviously Angel versus Death, and I believe Daziek getting in a bit of a kerfuffle at the castle section. Daziek lost half his wing, and Angel versus Death lost all of his wing, so that's not the best way to take the castle section. And to be fair, that's a massive blow, obviously, for Angel versus Death. A good haul of points there, and at the moment he is quite far down the field. I'd say he was in 11th, and Dom Smith now coming under massive pressure from Elite Shots, and I think this is a done deal unless one of them peel into the pits, but I doubt that early on. It's lap 5, I believe it is, for these two. Goings already across the line. Yeah, Elite Shots, a nice and easy move there with DRS. The key question is, try and hold the person up. As Goings is actually in the pits, and he's pitted onto the medium tyres, and he actually comes out in P3, so that's a good stop. There's no traffic in front of him. Realistically, Dom and Elite Shots, as Dom gets DRS, they will probably pit this or the next lap. I'd actually probably say this lap is the better option for them both. But yeah, Goings only 4 seconds behind. And actually, let's take a look at the interval to obviously Elite Shots at the moment. So P10 is already 35 seconds off. And to be fair, it's this circuit, sometimes it can produce good racing. A lot of the time, it's pretty boring just on the basis of the type of circuit it is, as Goings has the fast lap by a good second, I'd say. I think the closest person in terms of lap time at the moment is Elite Shots, only on a 44.1. So obviously it's going to be interesting there to see that. But Rebel came up to P6, Jordan into P7 after damaging his wing. So it's not all over for Jordan, especially with people ahead of him still yet to pit. And I do believe the people who have still yet to pit are Elite Shots, Dom Smith, Chris Johnson in P4 and Red Bull Kim. So at the moment, Goings, Dexter, Jordan, Kong, Daziak and Bazar and Angel vs Death have all pitted already. So there's only not that many drivers left in the field that have yet to pit. And I do believe there's a bit of contact there with Dom Smith. I think he may have hit the wall there. And he's lost half his wing. That's not good, and definitely say Dom needs to pick this up and make sure as well it's not an auto, as it may not even change his wing. So just a bit of hints there for some of the drivers. But Goings already back into P1. He's easily got this win in the back unless he bins it, which again is not out of the possibility for Goings. I think sometimes he can be a bit erratic, but he just needs to keep it on the circuit. As we can see there, obviously Dexter is now in P3 ahead of Chris Johnson and Dom Smith, and actually Dom Smith has dropped behind Jordan and Chris Johnson due to that wing change. I think Dom will be pretty furious with himself and upset, to be honest, with regards to that. Easy podium position, not very good for Dom Smith there, sadly, but anything can still happen. And Jordan is on the hard tyres, where everyone else around him, P1 to P8, all on the mediums, as Jordan, as you can see there on Dom's on board, runs it wide, and that is going to be pretty painful to get back on. And he's managed to do it without any incident, so that's good for himself, but he's not got, Daziak is about 10 seconds, well, now it's updated, 3.8 seconds behind. So at the moment, Dexter is in third, and he's not pitted. So at the moment, the only people that have not pitted at the moment, well, actually, yes, Dexter, it does show on the system, he has pitted apparently. However, he's been on those tyres for 5 laps, so actually, yes, he has pitted. However, tyre wear isn't the greatest, to be honest, around Baku, so he may have a few issues towards the end, as Goings has a 16-second lead. It may as well be at that point. However, I believe 10 to 15 minutes rain. I do believe it may actually fall too late or not make much of a difference to this race outcome. Depends how quickly it falls, but with F1 games and Codemasters, it tends to be pretty steady and takes a few laps. So 10 to 15 minutes would be the end of the race. But Rebel Kim in P9, and we'll actually do a rundown of the top 10, shall we? Goings in P1, 16 seconds ahead of Elite Shots in P2. Very good recovery from Elite Shots. Dexter in P3. He's been on those laps, those tyres, 6 laps, and he's 3.2 behind P2. Chris Johnson, I'd say a good recovery from the first lap. P4. Dom Smith, P5. Not hugely bad. It could have been better, but you know, it is what it is. Jordan P6 after losing his wing in P6. Daziak P7. Bazar in P8. Rebel Kim P9. Angel vs Death P10. Not far behind Red Bull Kim actually, in less than should have DRS on this second straight. And Kong P11. And then Bossman Sean's retired. Inverness fans retired. And James Botham is retired. And in last is Erland, and he didn't manage to race. And actually, Angel vs Death did not manage to get Rebel Kim in that DRS zone, but there's no battles at the moment. I'd actually say the closest is Daziak on Jordan. That's 2 seconds, and actually I do say that, but well, Angel vs Death is only 3 tenths behind Rebel Kim. But let's obviously stay on board with this battle. Actually, since it is the closest battle on the circuit, and well, gives a bit of airtime to the mid pack, which is always good. You need that money, obviously, for that. And quite an interesting helmet design from Angel vs Death, if I'm being completely honest with yourself. It's not the nicest combination of helmets, as Goings sets a 43.3, I believe that was, and extends his gap at the front even further. But at the moment, Chris Johnson is only 1.6 behind Dexter. And I do believe Dom may have nearly lost it out of that final corner again. Any sudden movement at that final corner and you can very easily ruin it. And yes, I do believe Dom has yet again damaged half his wing. As you can see on his left, our right, he's missing his end plates. That's not good for him. However, he does have a 6.3 5-second lead on Jordan at the moment. So that's it will come down, but what, 4 laps to go. It may be too late, but I'd say at worst he's probably going to qualify, still finish in the top 6, top 7 at least. There, as Angel versus Death has actually dropped slightly back from Red Bull Kim. It was about 3 tenths, and now it's 1.2. Let's actually have a look at the ERS as well there. So Goings on 63%, Elite Shots on 59, Dexter on 55, Chris Johnson on 67, Dom Smith on 47, Jordan on 56, and actually, I'd say the lowest person on ERS is actually Angel versus Death on less than 10%, so it's no surprise why he's dropping back from Rebel Kim, as Rebel Kim has the second lowest of now 7%, so Rebel Kim and obviously Angel versus Death is very, very close on ERS. However, I do believe we're hearing from the pits that Ferrari may be getting ready for a pit stop, and that must be for Dom Smith, as he is the only Ferrari still in the race. And I'll probably say, go on the softs, get your fastest lap. You're still probably going to be in the top 10 anyway as well. Bazza is 12 seconds behind P7, so you should, Dom should come out in the top 10, get his fastest lap, extra point. It's a win-win situation. It's the best he can hope for there. As actually Chris Johnson now is only 4 tenths with DRS behind Dexter. Is he going to try it into turn 1? He does. Easy move. Obviously nice and simple there for him. However, will Dexter get back into turn 3? Probably not. Dexter's tyres are a lot older than Chris Johnson's, and at the moment I would say I do believe Dexter is not that high on the standings of points. However, you know, P4, you can't really complain. I think he qualified towards the back, so let's just actually take a look at that, if I can actually get the correct one. Position changes, there we go. So Dexter up 5 positions. And actually the big winner at the moment is Elite Shots in P2. He's up 5 positions, is in P2. Obviously going up 1 position. Jordan's actually pitted again, it looks like. And what tyres has Jordan gone onto? It's the soft, of course. And Dom Smith, I do believe, has actually stayed out. And now Daziak is right behind him. And I would definitely have said Dom should have pitted that lap. Maybe even pick this lap, I'd say. It's not much of a disadvantage, and he actually runs wide there, but it's going to be an interesting one. Will Daziak expect him to brake a lot earlier at the castle section, and he does. That's perfect. Good driving there. But at the moment, Dom Smith is 39 seconds off the lead. However, at the moment he's about 12 seconds ahead of P7 and about 16 seconds in front of Red Bull Kim. So Dom can definitely pit this lap and still get the top 10. And he'll have probably the fastest lap if he is fast enough there. So let's see that. Will Daziak, as Dom runs very wide there, will Daziak try and go around the outside? And he does. Nice and easy move there with Dom Smith having these wing damage. And actually, he's got no wing now, Dom Smith, so he must have had an incident a bit earlier on the lap as well. But yeah, Dom will have to pit this lap. If he doesn't, I don't know where his brain cells would be. So it should be an interesting one to see if he can go fastest lap. And Dom Smith doesn't pit. Dom Smith does not pit with no front wing. Not too sure on those brain cells there, or one of them. He could have got a top 10, but the gap between Dom and his next rival in Bazza and P7 at the moment is, let's just take a look for you, is 8 seconds. So I honestly think that was a wrong decision by Dom. I think Dom does believe it was the right decision. He thinks he can hold on to that position, or at least the top 10 as he runs wide there. And I'd say that's pain to that. I don't think that's going to help him in the slightest, as now Bazza on those hard tyres. You can definitely see that for yourself there. So Rebel Kim has dropped behind Jordan, it looks like. And at the moment, there's not really that much of a close battle. Everyone's sort of 2 to 3 seconds behind each other. However, Angel versus Death is now closed back up to Rebel Kim. It's 7 tenths. But yeah, we'll have to see how this race unfolds. Only a lap and a half to go. And actually Goings has started his second to last lap. Actually, I'm talking absolute rubbish as it follows the leader on the lap counter. And this would actually be, I believe, as well, 4 winners in 4 races. So that is shows how competitive TGP2 is. this season now that Jack Pearson is not racing. Luca sadly had to pull out. I think if he'd have stayed in TGP2 this season, he'd have probably have won it, to be honest with yourself. But as Angel vs Death finally gets past Rebel Kim, however, he does run it a bit wide, so it could be an interesting one as Rebel Kim, I think, nearly gets scared out of the way there with regards to that. And Bazar and Dom are side by side. DRS Ada right there. The only problem is though, Dom doesn't have a front wing, so it's very interesting as Jordan now gets the fast lap, and I think Bazar, not too sure. Those tactics went very slow there. However, amazingly, Dom Smith is somehow battling a car that has got a full front wing, and there's a yellow flag out somewhere. Was there an incident anywhere? I'm not too sure, but let's go back with Dom Smith. And yeah, Bazar has got Dom Smith. But it was a valiant effort from Dom, to be honest with yourself. It was no front wing. I don't think I would have even bothered with that. I think I'd probably retired, threw my controller at the wall, and probably quit if I had missed the pits there. However, now Jordan is about to overtake Dom Smith for P7. Angel vs Death is not too far behind. However, ironic thing right there, Dom Smith was actually gaining time on the straight without a front wing, so Monza, just lose your wing. I'm sure you'd be a lot faster there at Monza. But Angel vs Death, only 7 seconds behind. Is actually Angel vs Death has actually had an accident just before the castle section. He still got most of his wing, I believe. However, now Kong the Gorilla is right behind him, and Dom Smith bins it with that front wing. We said he should have pitted. Did he listen to the soft cop? No, he didn't. A bit of a shame there. However, Jordan and Bazar on, well, I'm going to say the last lap, but it's the second to last lap, I believe, actually now. But Jordan should very easily have Bazar. He's on those soft tyres. He's got DRS. He's got the slip ring. He's got the straight line speed. He's got the pace. And in just 1 second, he's going to have the position. A nice little switch there from him, but I don't really think Bazar can do much about that. Will he try it into turn 1? No. Thinks about it. Very late on the brakes, but on those soft tyres, you know, Jordan's definitely got P6. He's not going to gain any more positions though. He's 14 seconds behind Dalsiak, but a good recovery drive there. And well, very disappointing for Dom Smith. P11, so I'm not too sure if he gets a point. But, and Jordan nearly clips the wall there. But yeah, to confirm, Dom does not get a point, sadly. And Goings then, round the final corner. He's about to win his race after not racing for a bit of time, let's say. Been in Africa, been with the military. Obviously very good for himself. Comes back, bit of motivation to be home, I'm sure. And he wins in Baku by 20 seconds. Very good race. Very good comeback from elite shots there. You know, had a bit of an incident on lap 1, but he finished P2. And out of the championship contenders, he's the highest, so that's going to be very good for himself. Chris Johnson comes home in 3rd. Dexter comes home in 4th as well there. Daziak will come home 5th. Jordan will be P6. Bazar, P7. I'm sure he can't be too disappointed with that. King Kong himself is P8. Angel vs Death P9, after it could have been a far better race for himself as we've got a yellow flag. That may just be a case of, well, there's no incident to look at. And Rebel Kim in P10. That's a very, very good haul of points for Rebel Kim there. But yes, Rebel Kim, as you can see there, his light is flashing. He's either out of fuel or he's about to run out of fuel, but on F1 games, you can't physically run out of fuel completely. Unlike Project Cars, which I found out in Season 1 of TV Cars on the last lap. So that's a story for another day, though. But very good racing from them all. Bit incident packed on lap 1, but that's just the way Baku is. I don't think it was anyone's fault. And that is Going's 4th career win. Can he go one better in the next race in, I believe, Spain? Spain, far better for overtaking. Not the best, but it's better than Baku, I'd say. So a good number of overtaking opportunities there. But yeah, in terms of those standings, Erlan got no points today. Jordan, a recovery drive, and then Jack Craig in P2. I do believe, though, Jack Craig may jump into the lead of the standings after this race, so that is quite good. A good haul of points for Chris Johnson, who was in P4 on 44 points as well there, so he will definitely move up in second in the standings. And, well, Alistair was P5 before this race, and sadly, he binned it, and I don't think he gets any points. He was on 33 points tonight, and he's still on 33 points. And looking on the system, it was Jordan who got the fastest lap, so that is an extra point for himself. I think Goings will not be too disappointed that the fastest lap got taken off him. However, he got the win. That's where it counts. An absolutely brilliant race for himself there. And the next race then is Spain that we move on to. A few overtaking spots into turn 1. Second DRS straight before the hairpin as well. Camps are very difficult on these cars. Rear end at the top of it. Very easy to, as it were, come round. Obviously, we found out that a lot last season as well there. But we shall see there. So, let's take a look then, shall we, in terms of the points standings for the top few guys. Jack Craig is on 63 points. Jordan is 59, so that's obviously a good haul of points for himself. Not too far behind, I don't think he'll be too disappointed. And Chris Johnson in third on 50, so they are your top 3, obviously, with regards to that. And obviously, 4 points between them, which is always quite good. So that's quite good there. So 63, 59, 58, or should I say 59 for Chris Johnson again. My maths is playing up a bit there. And then Erland on 51. So even though Erland didn't manage to race in that first race, he's still not too far behind. And I would say at Spain, it's a lot easier to overtake. There should be a lot more battles. And actually, I would say as well, still very close. So we could see. The question is, though, will it be dry or will it be wet at Spain? That is the key question. I think a lot of people will be hoping for a dry race. I know me personally, I hate it when it's wet. But yeah, I've got 18 seconds before obviously this race or this qualifying starts. And I will point out for any new viewers, it is 1-shot quali and 3 races every night. Obviously, so the season will get done a lot quicker, I'd say, than previous seasons. But the pressure's a lot higher. 1-shot quali, you bottle your lap, you mess up your lap, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you massive. And at Spain, it's not the hardest circuit. However, it's very easy to bottle it, make mistakes. Turn 1, you lock up, you run wide. Turn 4, the traction is very difficult. The car wants to come around very easily without warning. Camps again, on the exit, rear end, very lively. And the final chicane, clout the curbs too much, and yes, it's game over at that point. But yeah, we'll see what the championship contenders can do, but also see what the midfield pack can do. There's always a good surprise in TGP2, I like to think, and I'll see where, well, at this point, round 5 of the season, it's still very close, still plenty of the season to go. Many things can change, and as we can see on the TV and in the pit lane, it is nice and sunny. It is dry for qualifying, and we'll see when we get into the race. It will be dry as well, I believe. So it's a completely dry race there. So it's down to pure pace, pure strategy. But the question is, who has got the balls, as it were, to really push on this lap? 1 shot, 1 opportunity, mess it up, then you're screwed. I was going to try and commentate or quote a Eminem lyric there, but I haven't listened to Eminem since I was younger. I like Eminem though, let's just say that. So let's see then. I believe they're all getting ready there, and here we go then. It should be an interesting one, as at the moment, as they cross the line, Red Bull Kim's in second. So we've not had a corner yet. Not had a corner, he's in first now. Red Bull Kim's in first. Well done, Kim. And now he's pretty much last, but that's not the point, as Bossman Sean is in P1, Goings is in P2, and it is changing all the time. And actually, let's go on board with, as Angel Bo's Steph retired, let's go on board with Goings. He seems to be the clear person with the pace at the moment, and I'm trying to get actually Goings, and never mind, let's go on Elite Shots, because it's just black and white at the moment. So Elite Shots then is in P1, Inverness Fan now in P1. But it's clearly very close. They are chopping and changing. every corner. As at the moment, the top three it looks like it is going to be Goings, Elite Shots, and Inverness for the pole position. And Erland P5, not too bad so far. But yeah, it's anything can happen. It would actually be quite good to have not an on board, as it were, but a mini map of where the cars are. But sadly, very much as may implement on the next game, hopefully. And Dom Smith is in P6, and Inverness fan is dropping down. So Inverness fan has made a mistake, and pretty much Inverness fan is last. So not what he wanted. But at the moment, Jordan and Goings are neck and neck, and it could be anyone's at the moment. Going out of the last corner, Jordan's in P1 at the moment. Goings is in P2. Will it finish like that? We will see. Goings is in P1, and Jordan gets it by less than a quarter of a tenth, and that is a bloody close. Obviously P1, and well done for Jordan there. So at the moment it is Jordan, Goings, Elite Shots, Erland, as Angel Steph there gets disqualified, so not what he wanted. However, he starts on new tyres, and in just a moment we'll go on the rundown of the grid. Once it loads there, so Jordan P1, Goings P2, a quarter of a tenth off pole. Elite Shots P5, P3 should I say. Erland P4, Dom Smith P5, very good. They're only 6 tenths off pole. Bossman Sean P6, Bazar, a better performance here compared to Baku P7. King Kong himself in P8, Daziek P9, Dexter P10, a good qualifying from Rebel Kim there in 11th. Chris Johnson very disappointed, he must have made a mistake, 5.5 seconds off in P12, and Inverness fan in P13. And the only person who did not complete his lap due to probably an invalidated lap was Angel versus Death. So this looking to be very spicy. Jordan, Goings, and Elite Shots all at the top there. So this is going to be an interesting turn one. Let's keep it clean, let's keep it tidy, but let's keep it exciting is the best advice I can give that one. Obviously in F2 last night it was pretty clean, which is quite good. But yeah, in F2, in the F1 cars, it's a very different story. We've got 24 seconds to go before the lights come on, the lights go out, and we get racing. And as we can see, in terms of the sun as well, it is coming out of the last corner or going down the second DRS straight. So it could be quite blinding a second half of the lap, and I'm not a fan of the sun in any point when it comes to these F1 games because I am blind as a bat, even though I'm only 25. So let's go then. So let's take a look. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights on, and it is Jordan. Let's go on board with Dom Smith. It is in P5. Obviously Jordan going left, Goings going right, Elite Shots going right, 3 abreast. Goings very, very deep into turn 1. He cuts it, not too bad there. I won't say he did anything wrong. He was in the lead. Some say he may have gained the position by doing that, but it is what it is. Jordan is P3 at the moment. Goings a good start at the moment, and let's have a run down. So I do believe there's a bit of action in the mid pack at the moment, as I do believe Dexter has spun it and is now dropped to dead last. King Kong and Bossman Sean are a bit of a ding dong, as it were, and it's actually quite tight at the top. There's only about 2 seconds separating everyone in the top 6 at the moment, as Dom Smith almost loses it there. And let's have a look then. No one's really attacking anyone at the moment. So Bazar up the inside of Kong, doesn't quite make that sticky. Went on the curbs. You don't want to get on the curbs at all around the circuit, because it unsettles the car so easily, even with setups. It's far worse without setups, but that's another point. And at the moment, going on to the main straight, Goings is, I would say, pulling a bit of a gap. He's far better through that final chicane than Elite Shots. And to be fair, this could be very interesting, as Dom Smith is obviously side by side at the moment, and that is the worst camera angle ever. And Sean has got it, runs it a bit wide, gets on that curb, but a nice move there from Sean. Very good clean racing from both Ferraris there. And now Sean will be looking to hunt down Erland. I do think Sean may seem to have the pace round here to at least get a top 4, maybe a podium, but he does not want to bottle it or crash as Inverness fan now. Oh, and Daziek has binned it out of turn 4, as I said in qualifying and before the race. It's very easy to lose it out of that corner on traction, as Bazar is now hunting down Kong. So that's a very interesting one. And Kong very wide. Will Bazza try and dive up the inside into this hairpin? He thinks about it, but he's too far back. And at the moment, it's a bit of a train at the front at the moment. So let's take a look a bit further down, see if there's any battles. Erland is 1.5 ahead, or behind, should I say, of Jordan. However, Sean is only 5 tenths behind Erland. And let's have a look then. It's going. Sets another fast lap. 1 second. Here we go. Bossman Sean then with the not even the DRS at the moment. He's not even using it on my screen. Nice and easy move that is. Clearly, Clay's got a lot of downforce as Erland, and that is the move done. And now Dom Smith. Bit of contact there between Dom and Smith. I don't think there's any damage, but Dom Smith makes it through as well. So that's always a positive there. And at the moment, Chris Johnson is down in P9, so not what he wants. I don't know if he's got damage. It looks like he's got all of his end plates, so that's a good thing at least. But yeah, obviously at the moment at the front, Elite Shots 1.1 behind Goings. He can't keep with him at this stage of the race. However, Goings is using more of his ERS on each lap, which may prove a bit problematic, let's say, towards the end of the race. But you can run it down a bit more around here and gain it all back in the final sector. As Erland and Kong go side by side, Kong overtakes, however runs wide. Will Erland keep the place? He does. Better exit out the chicane as Bazza and Kong. Kong thought about turning in, but then didn't. I think it scared Bazza a bit, so he backed out of it. But some good clean racing going on, a bit of muscling, which there's no issue with that at all. However, good little battles, and will Kong be able to get DRS on Erland and overtaking? He does have DRS, and he's got it wide open, and it's a bit of a train actually behind Erland. It's Erland, Kong, Bazza and Chris Johnson all within DRS of each other. And here we go then, Kong up the inside of Erland, makes it stick. Perfect. And here we go then, Bazza as well. Bazza right behind. Will he try around the outside of turn 3? No, he doesn't. He thinks about it. It's a very risky move around there. And actually, Chris Johnson up the inside of Bazza there. Good and nice move. Will he keep it around the outside, Bazza? He tries to. He's trying to. But that sort of radius of the corner, it's quite difficult. And actually, he thinks about going back up on the inside, but doesn't quite make it stick. And at the moment then, this is actually the closest battle on the circuit between P6 and P9. It's not huge battles. The leaders, the top 3 are all separated by 1.1 seconds each. So that is obviously, as you can see in the top left, as Erland, I believe, ran it very wide there, and Bazza is straight through, as well as Inverness Fan. And actually, Erland right there, trying back up the inside, and actually makes it stick. He dives up the inside, pushes Inverness Fan wide, and runs him out of room. And Erland keeping that position, but Inverness Fan is on the mediums. And let's take a look at that actually. How many people have stopped? Nobody has stopped, so this tie strategy is it. Chris Johnson started on the Erland pits. Chris Johnson started on the mediums, Inverness Fan mediums, and Dexter on the mediums. Everybody else on the softs. Erland in the pits is the first to stop, and what tires will he go on to? It's going to be the mediums, but you never know. You could try a different strategy. Tyreways not that bad round here, but the mediums, I believe if this is around a lap or 2 before the pit window, then the mediums should definitely last to the end of the race, no issues. At the moment then actually, speaking of the close battles, is Bazza runs wide and tags Inverness Fan. That's a bit of a silly one. I don't really think it was Bazza's fault. He got on the grass and then sort of half spun it onto the circuit, and well, Inverness Fan, I think, out of fear, deer in the headlights, didn't really know where to go, so that is not good for yourself. So Jordan then is closing up on Elite Shots. So it's 666. Some say that's the devil, some say that is just a number. I say it's a number. So Jordan then is 6 tenths behind P2 Elite Shots, and at the moment Elite Shots then pits. Goings and Jordan stay out, so Elite Shots is the next person to pit. Bossman Sean stays out. Dom Smith of course pits. Good communication between the teammates of course. Kong stays out. Chris Johnson stays out of course, he's already on the mediums anyway, so there's no point pitting. Inverness fan pits, of course, with that damage. Will he get it stopped and slowed down? He does, so that's perfect. And there's a yellow flag, and Sean from P3 has spun it. He doesn't have damage. Very easy to do, though. Again, these curbs really unsettle the car at turn 1, and it's cost him. Sean had very good pace, but it's not all over by any stretches in P5. He could very easily get it back, but it's making life difficult. And at the moment, this is, again, the closest on the circuit, as Dom Smith not really wanting to be when he pits. He came out behind Rebel Kim. It's 3 seconds, so, you know, and, Chris Johnson nearly lost it there. I don't think he let him through at all. Again, he lost it, and that car looks like a handful. I'm not going to lie there, but this is the closest on the circuit. Goings now a 1.6 second lead at the moment. Kong is now in 3rd. Bossman Sean is into P4 after obviously being ahead of Chris Johnson. Bazza, not so bad, P6, not too far behind the P4 battle. Dexter, after sort of spinning it or getting into an incident on lap 1, is back up to P7. And actually already Dom Smith on Rebel Kim after half a lap. It was about 3 seconds at the start of this lap. Now it's half a second. And now he stays out there and always really holding Dom Smith up. However, I think this should be an easy move. And yeah, easy move there. DRS as Bossman Sean and Kong. I believe Bossman Sean actually jumped Kong in the pits there, so a good stop from the Ferrari boys. And there is a yellow flag out. I don't know if that... And oh, Elite Shots has spun it at turn 2. Elite Shots has spun it, and Bossman Sean gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there. And Elite Shots, I do believe... He has front wing damage. Elite Shots, not what he wanted. And now Rebel Kim is in P7, and that is the championship leader with front wing damage. And he's only just pitted, I believe, and he's off again. Elite Shots, not what he wants to be. Down into P11 and out of those points. And at the moment, he only had about a 4-point lead actually between the top 3. So that's... It's not good for himself, and at the moment Jordan is in P1 in the pits as Erland and Sean going side by side. And let's take a look. Erlang tries to keep it on the inside, and I believe Sean has made that stick as Rebel Kim there gets a penalty. So there we go, nice move from Bossman Sean. Jordan then in the pits. And Dexter and Goings. I don't think he's too happy with Dexter. However, this is going to be an easy move with regards to that. And Goings up the inside makes it stick. And then Goings and Sean side by side. Sean has the DRS. Erland not too far behind. And a bit of lag there going back on board. And yeah, Sean easily made that stick. And now it is Erland's turn. It should be an easy one, but... You never know. But at the moment then, Chris Johnson before Spain was on 58 points in 3rd place. He's leading at the moment as Rebel Kim runs wide there, but so does Sean, and that's Erland's place to take. So that's P8 for Rebel Kim. And you can see on the left, Chris Johnson is leading the race. On those mediums, still yet to stop, of course. Goings back into P2. Obviously, so I'd say, yet again, it's probably another win likely for Goings, unless there's any mistakes made. Dexter in P3, yet to stop still. Jordan in P4. Dom Smith, P5 again. This time, without any wing damage, so that is looking good for him. Sean in the other Ferrari in P6. It could have been so much more for Sean had it not been for those mistakes. Erlang in P7. Kong in P8 and Rebel Kim in P9, and actually Rebel Kim getting out of the way, Buzzer actually. So we're going Jordan and Dom Smith, or Jordan and Dexter should I say, up the inside. So that's perfectly fine there. And I do believe, obviously, Chris Johnson. At this point in time, they're going to be losing time. I say Chris Johnson only 6.3 ahead of Goings. It's probably going to come back out, maybe P6, give or take. Depending on any sort of incidents or mistakes from the other drivers there. And at the moment, the closest battle is actually Bazar closing up on Kong. It's 1.1 seconds at the moment, but the gaps are The gap's really quite, not a huge gap, as it were. It's about 1.1 to 2.2 seconds between a lot of the drivers at the moment. But I think the close of this race, it will be a lot closer. At the moment, Jordan's only 1.2 seconds then behind Goings. I think at the moment, Jordan actually has the pace. If Jordan getting that DRS zone of Goings onto that straight, let that pull him along a bit closer. And there's a yellow flag somewhere. Someone spun it, or is that just yellow flags? And it's Red Bull Kim on the exit of turn 4, making that mistake and spinning. And yeah, well, after a good race, Red Bull Kim is now last, and Jordan then 1.2 is so close, very close at the moment to getting that DRS, but he needs to be consistent for the old circuit, not just one corner, and really get those tyres working. And Jordan is 1 lap younger on tyres. Dexter still yet to pit, 9 laps on those tyres at the moment. Same with Chris Johnson, so they should be coming, as Bazza then gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Not what he wants. And at the moment, actually, speaking of Bazza, he's less than a second behind Kong, but I don't think he's going to have the overall pace to really attack. The gap between them, and the tyre gap even, is only, well, a lap difference. So as Kong locks up there, but at the moment, again, this is the closest battle. And talking of tyres, and everybody other than P10 and P11 in Inverness Fan and Elite Shots are the only 2 on the hard tyres, and of course both of them in incidents early on in the race, as all Bazza getting really wide at Kamsa. A very dangerous game he's playing there, as it were. And at the moment, Kong then is closing up on Erland for P7 at 1.1, and Bazza's only 6 tenths behind Kong. So this is the close battle. And actually Chris Johnson then is in the pits, so he is pitting now. Jordan back into P2. The gap's still about 1.2, 1.3 between the top 2 then. So this could be an interesting battle. It's very difficult round here when it comes to the, not even the slipstream, but the understeer. You're getting within that 1.5 second gap, and it's quite difficult to really just get that little extra out of it, as Chris Johnson then comes out just behind Erland. Not what he wanted. Not what he wanted at all. However, Chris Johnson, though, is on the soft, so I think it's only a matter of time before he gets Erland. Question is, will Chris Johnson wait for the DRS after Kamsa, or will he try and go for it? Obviously, Erland, sometimes he's a bit laggy. He's not lagging today, which is always a positive. And we shall see there. And Bazar has now got ahead of Kong, so that's good for himself. And obviously Chris Johnson, the only one doing the opposite strategy, who has already pitted. Kong is on mediums on all lap holes, that's fine. But it's Dex is still yet to pit, been on those laps, or those tyres, since the first lap. And he's in P3 at the moment. However, he's going to drop down that order as soon as his pit stop is made. And Chris Johnson, here we go, right behind Erlang, going on to the main DRS straight. Less than half a second at the moment. Will he get a good right? And Dexter then is ahead of, well, Dom's ahead of Dexter, should I say, as Dexter has now made his pit stop. And here we go then. Chris Johnson on Erland. Easy move. DRS. Nice chopper cam we've got there. Love that chopper cam. And it's nice and easy there. So there we go. So at the moment then, Dom is in, I believe, a net P3. He's on those laps, 6 laps. I do believe he has pitted. Let's take a look at then the pit stop. So everybody has pitted then. Everybody has pitted. Elite Shots made 2 stops. Everybody else has 1. So now it's just a case of, well, getting the foot to the floor, hit those braking points, hit those acceleration, as Dom nearly loses it there. Not what he wants again. Doesn't want to get front wing damage in a second race in a row. But it's P3 and it's 2.3 seconds of Bossman Sean, and I do believe again that Bossman Sean does have a 3-second time penalty. At the moment, Chris Johnson is only 2 seconds behind, and he is closing rapidly on those soft tyres. Will Chris Johnson get the fastest lap? And let's actually take a look at the moment at the fastest lap, and I don't even know which one it is. There we go, it's that one. At the moment, it's Jordan on a 20.9 who has got the fastest lap. And the closest person to that is Goings on a 21.4. So at the moment, Jordan is getting an extra point for that fastest lap. So let's just see then. And Bazar only 9/10 behind Erland. And he's closing. Erland is actually harvesting on the main straight because Erland has actually pretty much run out of Ers. He's on less than 10% at the moment. So he's not managed his Ers very well at all. And down that main straight, that's the one place you do not want to be harvesting it. As that's the only place you can attack or defend, really. So at the moment, this is still probably the closest on the circuit. Goings is stretching that lead at the front, as we can see on the top left, to 1.7 seconds. And actually, Goings as well has actually got about 20% more Ers than Jordan as well. But to be fair, I don't think Jordan will care. I think Jordan will be happy to come home second. Of course, he's going to try and aim for the win, but it should be an interesting one. We shall see this. As Dom Smith is actually 12 seconds behind top 3. I do believe we can hear on the radio as well. Obviously, the viewers will not be able to hear it, but I think a few strategy calls going on at Ferrari. Obviously, with Sean having a time penalty, so we'll see how that one plays out. You know, the Ferraris do always love a good team order in real F1, but whether it's the cause or the effect of their positions, will it cost one of them? Will it cost both of them? Well, for once, they actually do the right thing and gain from it. It's yet to be seen. Yet to be seen, as Chris Johnson is still actually only 1.9 seconds behind Bossman Sean. So Chris Johnson is not actually really gaining, as Bazar has nearly lost it there out of turn 2. Didn't quite catch that. I think there may have been slight contact between Erland and Bazar, and actually Erland lets him through. So yeah, there may have been a bit of contact there, but good sportsmanship. Whatever the cause of it was, good sportsmanship between them both there, so that's good. And Kong in the racing point is only 1.5 behind that little battle. At the moment, it's Bossman Sean is behind Dom Smith, and that is the closest on the circuit. And actually, I'm talking absolute rubbish again, because it's actually Erland. It is only 4 tenths behind Bazar, but I don't think Erland has the pace to close up, especially with his lack of Ers. As Kong now closes up on Erland, so we'll keep with this battle, shall we? And that is the worst camera angle ever, looking at the rear wing. And there we go. And actually, Erland runs very wide there, gets the car unsettled, and actually is up the inside there. Will there be a contact? And actually, Erland keeps it up, and Bazar then gets a 3-second penalty. Not what he wanted, as Kong nearly loses it out of that final corner, or second to last corner. Still got DRS though, so that's not too bad, as Bossman Sean is only 3 tenths behind Dom and nearly loses it on the exit there. But team orders, I believe, are in play, and Bossman Sean is going to stay behind Dom Smith. And to be fair, I'd actually say that's probably the wrong call. Honestly, I think Bossman Sean at the moment does have the slight pace advantage, and obviously Sean should get a bit of a gap. Obviously, I can hear team orders going on at Ferrari. I've got my little spy in there. Little do they know. But Dom Smith, I do believe, wants to let Sean through. So it's a bit of a back and forth between the two, the engineers, as it were. Obviously, so Dom wants to let Sean through. Sean doesn't want to go through. Sean's worried that he doesn't have the pace to, clear Dom and pull away. But to be fair, at the moment, they're going to have to think of something, because Chris Johnson is only now 1.4 seconds behind. And actually, now they're doing a Ferrari strategy. They're messing it up completely. They're changing their minds every 5 seconds, and it's not good to see at all. But Chris Johnson is only 1.4 seconds behind, so they even need to make a choice now, or don't make a choice at all. It's entirely up to them, as Erland then is only 8 tenths behind Bazar, and Kong is only 8 tenths behind Erland, so it's about 1.5, give or take, between those three. As and Dom Smith, what did we say? They always mess it up in some way, and Dom Smith, I believe, spins it on his own in P3, so that is a bottle. And now Bazar is right behind Dom Smith, and he's got and actually he goes up the inside actually. So and Kong, massive moment there. I think he may have tagged the rear end of Erland, and that is Kong's race pretty much done, as Dom Smith defends. He fights back on Baz. He does not want to let him past. If he does, then that's going to be curtains for his race, and a good haul of points there. I think Dom should definitely battle it. Well, at the moment, due to Ferrari's indecision and mistakes, they've both cost themselves a podium as Dexter gets a 3-second penalty at present. But yeah, Ferrari yet again with their usual strategy. They've cost themselves. Bossman Sean has a penalty. Dom Smith didn't. However, Dom Smith spun it and there is a yellow flag somewhere. I don't think that's anyone specifically as at the moment. Right, so I believe I'm hearing it might be Red Bull Kim from the reporter in the pit lane. Also known as Goings, who is leading the race. He's not in the pits, but he's on the circuit. It's close enough. So yeah, here it was Red Bull Kim as Elite Shots now gets a 3-second penalty. Not that it matters though, because Elite Shots is 34 seconds ahead of Red Bull Kim, and he's only in P11, so no points for Elite Shots, not what he wants. He's 15 seconds behind Kong, and I think actually Kong has made a pit stop to get a new wing. Actually, no, he hasn't. So actually, no. What is it? What is Kong doing? So Kong has not decided to pit, and he's going around without a front wing. What is with the drivers tonight? Dom Smith tried to do it in Baku and failed miserably. Kong's going to do it here and going to fail miserably. And someone's going to do it in Monaco and it's going to fail miserably. So in short, if you've got no front wing, unless it's Monza, make sure you pit. Make sure you damn pit. But at the moment, the closest is Erland on Bazar, 3 tenths, and Dexter. So and there's a yellow flag somewhere as Elite Shots has retired. So let's see, where was that as Goings wins? And I completely forgot it was the last lap. My apologies. And Sean, well, he's going to cross the line in third, but Chris Johnson is going to get it as Bazar and Erland. Well, there's not really a battle there. It's about 4 tenths. But I think Bazar does have a penalty. I don't think Erland does, so I think those positions are going to swap. And yep, Chris Johnson gets third place there. Obviously that's good for him, but well, I mean, what? It's a P4 and a P5 for the Ferraris. So yeah, it could have been better. It could have been a P3 and a P4, or a P3 and a P5. And Inverness fan actually makes it back into P7. So again, a good recovery drive from himself then. As Rebel Kim has already finished, has he? I do believe got lapped. And Kong then is the last runner to come across the line who finishes. And actually, even though it doesn't matter, Elite Shots gets P11 due to Rebel Kim being a lap down. So an interesting one there, but neither of them get any points because it only goes up to P10, unlike previous seasons there. And there we go, Goings, another win from himself. That I believe is his 5th career win. So he's looking good, and the fact that it's only round 5 that we've just done, he could very easily still win the championship if he keeps this up. He could win a lot of races, so you never know there. And as we can see, the Racing Point and the McLaren drivers, 2 McLarens on the podium. I think they'll be very happy with that. It's a good season for them so far, it seems, with the overall points haul. And there we go then. So that was the podium celebrations. And next is the results. So Goings, another win for himself. Jordan P2, very happy with that. Chris Johnson P3, very happy with that. Bossman Sean, probably a bit disappointed with that. Dom Smith in P5, so Ferrari 4-5. Could have been better, but they got a good haul of points, I guess. Erland, a recovery drive in P6, so he didn't do the first race. Inverness won a recovery drive from P7. Dexter in P8. Bazar P9. Obviously Kong in P10. Elite Shots, very disappointing for himself, especially qualifying P3. Rebel Kim P12. Obviously Daziak P13. And Angel vs Death P14. So yeah, very interesting race. I think a few disappointed faces there. A few good faces. Obviously Goings and Jordan and Chris Johnson, I believe they'll be very happy with their results, but then Inverness fan Elite Shots, it's the championship charge is crumbling a bit. I think everyone before tonight really expected Jack Craig to be the title favourite. However, I think he's not having a good night tonight. He's not having a good night at all. But I think that's not to say it's his fault. I think it's just the fact that TGP2 this season is just so close. It's so close. Anything can happen. And you know, that's bearing in mind it's dry. If it's wet, that could throw a spanner in the works. And next is Monaco, and I think everyone will be absolutely praying to their gods, praying to anything that it is a lot, well, easier and not wet. And actually, we'll go over the points as well after that race. So at the moment, then Jordan now leads the championship still on 78 points. Chris Johnson only 4 points behind him on 74. Jack Craig in P3 now on 63. It's still not a massive gap. for him to overhaul, but you know, races like that, it can easily evaporate. Obviously, Erland P4 on 59, and then Goings in 5th. He's moved up to 5th on 50 points. And I must say, before tonight, Goings was on 0 points, and he was in 16th position in the standings. He's gone in 2 races from P16 to P5. A very good result for him. And the question is, can he do it here? Obviously, I don't think he's done any sweat or much before tonight. And Monaco, you need to get that practice in. You need to know where your braking zones are. You need to know what the tyre weighs like. You need to know everything. Obviously, with Monaco, I'd say I'm quite decent around there. So I hate the place. I hate it with a passion. It's similar to Phil Bardwell, who for some reason dislikes Nürburgring on Project Cars, but won both races there. Not sure the logic, but it is what it is. He hates it really. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. And let's see then, is it going to be dry or wet? And it's dry, and actually it's night time. So on this race, it's night time. So that should make it even more interesting. And it's a dry race, I'm hearing as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, Monaco is the one and the only race where you absolutely have to get pole position. If you do not get pole position, it's going to be difficult to win. It's going to be difficult to win. Obviously, you have to try everywhere, and you can try everywhere, but you can't try anywhere. So you go nowhere. So basically, you can't overtake. In short, it's as simple as that, really. But you have to qualify on pole. If you don't qualify on pole, it's difficult. And here we go then. Actually, let's follow then Jordan. He is the championship leader at the moment. Good turn 1 there. Obviously good for himself. He's in P2 at the moment. Bossman Sean's in P1. Elite Shots in P3 and Goings in P4. So let's go Jordan. Obviously we're going to be on board. Inverness fan has already retired from the session, so he's going to be starting last. Not what he wanted, especially at Monaco. But Jordan then is in P1 side by side, obviously with the other 3 drivers who are there. So let's just see where it is. And at the moment, it looks like the championship contenders are pretty much all at the front. It's Jordan, Goings, Chris Johnson, Erland, Elite Shots. So it should be a good one. It's a very neat and tidy from Jordan. That's what we like to see. Obviously, try not to corner cut these chicanes on straight. It's very easy. And Dom Smith, I believe, has had an accident as he's dropped now down to P9. And he sounded a bit like a bear groaning, which you guys would not be able to hear at the moment. It looks like Goings is it looks like it's going to be Jordan's. Jordan is going around the last corner now, so it's about a second to half a second gap. So Jordan will be on pole, it looks like, at the moment. Dexter in P3, Erland P4, Elite Shots P5, Chris Johnson P6. Not too bad, not too bad. As Bossman Short gets disqualified, I think he must have got an invalidated lap there. But not bad for Goings, is in P2. Not where he wants to be. He wants to be in P1, of course. I think everyone on the grid wants to be in P1. But that is Jordan, and he is leading the championship at the moment. So that is where he wants to be. And it was actually by over a second, 1.3. So it's Jordan, Goings, Dexter, Erland, Elite Shots, Chris Johnson, Kong, Dom Smith disappointed in P8, Bazza P9, and Daziek to round out the top 10. Angel vs. Steph managed to get a lap in this time, and Rebel Kim qualifying in 12 and 7 seconds off, and then Bossman Sean and Inverness fan either invalidating their laps or binning it. So not where they want to be. The best advice I can give them: try and start on the opposite strategy. You've got nothing to lose. It's Monaco. There may be a safety car, but yeah, no point starting on the same strategy as everybody else. And to be fair, there may never be a safety car, as it never works, is the big thing. And at this point, not too sure if it's light or dark. The lights are on in Monaco, but there seems to be a lot of sun. So it should be an interesting one, to be fair, with this race. And before tonight, I would like to point out as well, before tonight's races, McLaren were in the lead of the constructors, and they're probably going to extend that lead as well, with Alfa Romeo of Jack Craig and Inverness fan being in P2 before tonight, and then Toro Rosso of Daziek and Erland in P3. So I think McLaren have definitely extended their lead there. And then here we go. So it's Monaco, and the lights are about to start then. as the countdown goes on. And there we go. So here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And the lights are away. And let's just see then, shall we, with regards to that. And we'll go on board with Chris Johnson as Kong Nick cuts the first corner. He does give the place back, so that's perfectly fine. As Elite Shots there, I think, clipped the wall and has actually already damaged his wing, and he has Elite Shots, has already got front wing damage from the back of Erland. I think Erland is lagging, and that's the problem with it. So Erland is lagging, not what Elite Shots would have wanted. I'm sure he's not very happy with that. Chris Johnson is still in P6, so not the place he wanted to be. Obviously, as at the front, Jordan and Goings is still in the lead there. But at the moment, it's all pretty tidy. And actually, let's go on board with Chris Johnson. Will he be able to dive up the inside of Erland? I don't think he will be. I'm not too sure if Erland is lagging for Chris Johnson. Probably is, and yeah, I'm hearing that he is as well. So not good. Chris Johnson getting very close to that barrier there. Would very easily rip off the wheel. And Jordan then has already got a 1.1 second lead, 1.2 now over Going. So it's looking good for Jordan. Keep it nice and tidy. Don't take any risks. Take the speed through the corners. There's Elite Shots right behind Dexter. And Dexter made a mistake. Obviously, however, Elite Shots is doing quite well to say he's got a damaged wing. Well, I think Dexter did get a bit squeezed near the wall there, but nothing too bad, of course. And let's see, Erland then has in the pits with a new front wing. As well as a Bossman Sean. So Bossman Sean then going on to the hard tyres, I believe. And let's actually take a look at this on the tyres. So yeah, Baz in P8 is on the mediums, Inverness Fan in 11th on the mediums, and Erland and Bossman Sean in 13th and 14th last on the hards. Even though Bossman Sean on the the monitor itself is looking like he's on the softs, which is not the case, and I believe Dom Smith may have got damaged wing there. If we can get on board. On board, trying to speak and do this is quite difficult sometimes, but yellow, and I do believe them. Somebody may have got more front wing damage, and Dom Smith then is not having a good race. That's half of his wing gone. As Daziek tries to go around the outside, and I believe Daziek has now got front wing damage again. And he's only just pitted, I believe. Or that's someone else. I'm talking shit. Never mind. Sorry for the language. But yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, it's a bit of a cluster deep in that mid pack due to Dom Smith's damaged wing. And actually, at the moment, going back to the front, it's staying at and Goings clips the wall there. I don't think he has any damage there. Let's just take a look on the off-board. And he does. Goings has missing half of his end plate there. A big mistake from Goings with that. But at the same time, the person behind him, Elite Shots, also has front wing damage. So it's kind of even now. It depends on what it is. I don't think Dexter does not have any front wing damage, it looks like. Neither does Chris Johnson, and neither does Kong. So at the moment, second and third have wing damage. Nobody else does, other than Daziek in P8. And actually, Angel versus Death is getting attacked by Inverness Fan. Will Inverness Fan try it into the braking zone? No, he doesn't. Smart move there. Smart move. No, but then Kong is only half a second behind Chris Johnson, so that is the closest actual battle on there. And I do believe there may have been more contact, and yet at the moment, Bossman Sean is missing both of his end plates on either side, so not great for himself. And I think that's any hope of any points gone. However, as Bossman Sean now gets a penalty for corner putting the chicane there. I was going to say it's not all over, anything can happen, but it's going to look quite difficult now, the fact that he's got a penalty as well. And now at the front it's 2.1 seconds. Now the fact that Goings has damaged wing, and at the moment the closest battle is Inverness Fan on Angel versus Death. I don't think he's going to keep that position. Inverness Fan there gets a better. Will he go up the inside? He does. Will he keep it? Oh, it's quite close. And actually, good defending from Angel versus Death. He went back around the outside and had the inside for the hairpin. So not bad defending from himself there at all. There's Kong is still about a second behind Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson is a second behind Dexter. So yeah, and actually, quite surprisingly at the moment, Goings with his damaged wing, he's still 2 seconds behind Jordan. So Goings doesn't do too bad. I don't think its damage wing around here is a massive difference, just because the corners are quite slow. But it is going to affect you as Inverness fan. Ambitious move, and it's getting quite tight, and always a bit of contact there. And there we go, Angel versus Death, wing gone, contact with Inverness, as Chris Johnson now gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings as Angel versus Death goes into the pits. And Kong then and Chris Johnson side by side. But yeah, as we saw, Chris Johnson did get a penalty. And I'm hearing as well that the Ferrari boys are getting ready to retire one of their cars. It's going to be, I'd hazard a guess and say, Sean, due to the penalties and the wing damage. But you never know, Dom might retire. He's in P12. He's not too far off the points, I'd say. Only about sort of, well, what, 10-15 seconds off. So anything can happen there. But at the moment, then, Goings is actually closing the gap now on Jordan. It's 1.6 seconds from being 2 seconds this time last lap. And it's actually pulling away, Goings is, from elite shots. So it's going to be interesting. Actually, let's have a look on board with Jordan. And Jordan doesn't look like he has any front wing damage. At least he's got the end plates. As yeah, obviously Bossman Sean there does retire, and I believe he retired in the pits. So obviously good there. However, saying that though, the gap was 1.6 seconds as Goings pits. Obviously from P2. And he is removing his wing. He's getting a new one. So that's a smart move from Goings. However, he is going to be behind a lot of cars now, and he needs to hope that they get out of his way or pit soon, which they are probably going to do, as Taiwan isn't the greatest around here at all. It's not hugely bad, but it's not the greatest really. It's one of the worst circuits for Taiwan, as Inverness fan then is only half a second behind Daziet. Bossman Sean then is, I believe, leaving, but Dom Smith is half a second also behind Erland, so Dom Smith should be able to close up on Erland as he doesn't seem to have the pace. However, we're looking at Inverness fan on Daziet. That is the closest battle at the moment. It looks like his elite shots then gets a 3-second time penalty from P2. And let's have a look then obviously at Dom Smith making his pit stop due to damage. Well, Rebel Kim's going to hold them up quite nicely for everyone else. Also, Rebel Kim struggles massively on this game, as well as any other racing game he plays, in terms of overall pace. So as Dom Smith then gets a corner cut penalty, not what he wanted. I think he was laughing too much there at my amazing joke. However, yeah, Rebel Kim anyway does struggle a bit when it comes to overall pace, so he's usually moving chicane more than anything. But yeah, Erland, I think to be fair at this point, I'm just going to say it. I think it's a 2 chicanes for Dom Smith. Erland doesn't have the pace on the hards, and then Rebel Kim doesn't have the pace. So actually, let's go on board with Goings, who's right behind Inverness fan and Daziek. Obviously taps Inverness fan there. Will he dive it up the inside? And he does. Nice and clean, as obviously Inverness fan does have wing damage there, so a nice and easy move there. But will this, obviously DRS zone, or not even a DRS zone, but would this tunnel prove well for Goings? I think it should, as Kong gets a 3-second penalty. Let's then go on board with Goings. Obviously Daziet is going defensive. Goings will dive up the inside. Willie thinks about it and backs off very, very well there for Goings. I think that could have ended in disaster if he tried to go up there. But all a bit of lag there, and Kong get another 3-second time penalty from P4, and Goings then up the inside. Oh, and Goings has been spun. Goings has spun it. I think he tried a bit of an over-ambitious move there on Daziek. Tried to dive it up the inside at the chicane. However, it's not the greatest there for Goings. I definitely think that was his mistake, but it has cost him. He's now down in P9, and there is a yellow flag somewhere. So as Dexter comes out of the pits and Kong gets another penalty for obviously going over the line on pit exit. There's about 3 penalties in the last 2 laps, I believe. So at the moment, I think it's looking very good for Jordan for that race when he's 4.7 seconds ahead of elite shots, who does have wing damage. Chris Johnson is now into P3, and he's about 4 seconds ahead of Bazar. And at the moment then, everybody other than the top 3 is on the mediums or hards. And I do believe actually the top 3 are the only people yet to stop. And it's actually top 5 are yet to stop. So Jordan, Elite Shots, Chris Johnson, Bazza, Inverness Fan, and that's it really. They're the only people yet to stop. However, Bazza and Inverness Fan start on the mediums, the top 3 start on the softs. So it could be interesting. As Chris Johnson then pits. So obviously Chris Johnson makes a pass there. And Dom Smith as well. We missed it on the stream, however, had an amazing pass. Obviously the likes of Ayrton Senna will be proud. Double overtaking, I believe, Erland and Red Bull Kim. As Inverness Fan now pits, and Goings is not too far behind his teammate on Kong or Dexter. But yeah, this one could be an interesting one. Obviously, again, 2 cars battling. Goings does not want to get too ambitious at Monaco, as a repeat could happen, and if he gets wing damage, then he is screwed, as the saying goes. But he just needs to be gentle. This maybe not his to win. As he goes up the inside on his teammate, thinks about it, or backs off just in time. But yeah, it's as Elite Shots gets a 3-second time penalty there. Obviously not good for himself. But Goings, I definitely think, needs to think in the long run. He's on 50 points. He's not too far off the championship lead, as Bazza gets a 3-second penalty. Goings does not have to win this race to still be in the championship hunt. But he needs to take those points rather than over-ambitious moves. And at the moment then, this is the closest battle. Daziak is only 7 tenths behind Erland, but we're going to keep on board with Goings, as well, there's 3 cars within a second of each other. And here we go in. Oh, Kong making a bit of a mistake there, nearly losing the rear end. And that's the problem in Monaco. You get stuck behind cars that are slower than you, and you cannot overtake. If they're battling, you don't know what lines they're going to take, you don't know where they're going to break, anything like that. It makes it even harder to overtake, as Angel versus Death then in P12 gets a 3-second penalty, as you can see. But at the moment, Jordan then, still on those softs. He's been on them for 9 laps. Is only 13 seconds ahead of the next car, and P3 is 8 seconds behind that. As Kong then, and Goings goes up the inside. This should be an easy move, and taps the wall there. Obviously a bit of a contact there, bit of wheel banging as Inverness Fan gets a penalty, and Goings actually keeps it around the outside there. A good move from Goings. A bit of contact with his teammate, that wheel banging, but nothing harmed at all. You know, it has to happen sometimes at Monaco. And there's a yellow flag at the moment. Obviously, is that just a slow car, or is that? Yeah, I think it's just a slow car, as Jordan then pits from the lead. And at the moment then Kong is... and actually Goings just damaged his wing. Goings just damaged his wing. That's not good for himself then. Another wing damage there, but I think he'll still have the pace to get past Dexter, and maybe even still get a podium. But it's going to be a lot harder now. And then Jordan actually comes out in P2 ahead of Elite Shots by about a second. So that's good news for Jordan. Didn't want to get in. There's a yellow flag, and Inverness Fan then has retired. I don't know where that was. I think it may have been the last sector. So I think Red Bull Kim was about 30-something seconds behind Inverness Fan. So yeah, not a good night for Inverness Fan. Before these races, it was in P5. And Bazza, I believe, is the only one not to pit at the moment, and that is correct. So Bazza in P1 is the only one yet to pit. And as we can see, then I think there might be a bit of inter-team or outer-team play at the moment. Then Goings, I believe, is wanting to get Dexter out of the way. They're 2 different teams. Where does Dexter's loyalties lie? That is the question. Where does his loyalties lie? With Racing Point or with Mercedes? And Goings gets very close to Dexter there. Very close. But again, Dexter is going to hold Goings up massively if he doesn't get out of the way. I think Dexter has the pace, and Chris Johnson's got ahead of Kong. I think it might be actually into the last corner if I look correctly there. So a good move from Chris Johnson, very daring at the last corner. I wouldn't ever dream of doing that. So, and there's a yellow flag somewhere. Is that anyone? And it's Rebel Kim. Rebel Kim, I believe. I don't even know which corner that is actually. It may have been at the Rosberg corner actually. I'm not actually too sure there. As Goings is still behind Dexter, as Daziak gets a 3-second penalty there. However, he is 6 seconds ahead of Angel versus Death, but Goings is getting held up quite a bit behind Dexter, and there is no pit stops left, so you're going to have to do it on the track or employ cross-team orders from a different team, which I'm not sure how that works, to be honest, but you know, we will see. And at the moment then, I think actually Bazza is still the only one to pit, as Goings gets a 3-second time, and now Dexter pits then. Now Dexter pits, and so does Bazza, so Jordan is back in the lead of this race. Obviously Bazza, and actually Jordan sets the fastest lap. And Goings then, I believe, may have just nearly... Oh, Goings has lost another half of his wing, and Chris Johnson is not in his gearbox now. So it's going from bad to worse for Goings. Question is, though, even though Goings has a damaged wing, this is Monaco. Park in the middle of the circuit, no matter how fast or slow you are, they're not getting through. Exactly, just a Nigel Mansell. Just without a moustache, of course. I don't think Chris Johnson with a moustache would really suit. I'm going to be honest. I think it would look. I think I'm going to be honest. Listen for the younger viewers. I think it would look like a paedophile. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, Chris Johnson, please never, if you listen to this, never grow a moustache or a beard. I don't think I'll have to talk to you again if you do that. But anyway, back to the racing. More important things at the moment. Chris Johnson can't find a way past Goings. He actually runs. I was going to say runs wide there, but lags. So yeah, it's Goings is in P4. It's not a bad result if he finishes in P4. Goings. I mean, he's on 50 points as Bazza gets a 3-second penalty. But yeah, I think Goings will be very frustrated that he's not in P2 by now. But Jordan then sets another fast lap, 6 seconds ahead of P2 Elite Shots. And actually, Elite Shots is as Elite Shots, I was about to say, gets a penalty. Elite Shots is doing quite well today in terms of its race more than anything. Obviously didn't get the best start. However, he's P2 with everyone else's mistakes. And actually a shout out as well to Kong in P6, only half a second off Goings, who's then half a second off Chris Johnson. So it's not looking too bad for the Force India points. Dom Smith on those medium tyres, 11 laps. So I think he's probably... Well, I mean, he's P8 and Car's Ghost as well. So I do believe he might actually be coming up. And yeah, obviously we've got Rebel Kim ghosted. So yes, cars do ghost now, just so everybody knows. Even though it's still very scary, because I'm not too sure they ghost all the time, so it's a little bit of a worry sometimes. But yeah, thankfully Codemaster's doing something everybody wants, obviously with that. But let's go down as the two Toro Rossos are quite close, as Goings gets another 3-second penalty, and Elite Shots then, and well, Elite Shots pits from P2. So never mind that one. He's only been on those tyres only 4 laps. So an interesting strategy there. As well, Goings also makes another pit stop. So yeah, it's an interesting one. And Goings is actually repairing his front wing, which I don't blame. But I'm not too sure. With only 5 laps to go, the logic in pitting Goings with that. And Dom Smith jumps Goings and jumps Elite Shots. And Dom Smith, for once, doesn't have front wing damage, which is good to see. But yeah, Dexter now in P2, thanks to the pit stops, and he is 11 seconds off. And I do believe everyone has made a pit stop or 2. So yeah, I'm not sure why people will need to pit again. And actually, Erland on those hard tyres have been on them for 13 laps. And actually, these two are going to have a ding dong again. So let's keep on board with Goings. And obviously just to see obviously if it's a bit of an easier pass this time. Obviously Erland's tyres are far older and far harder than Goings, as Jordan then sets another fastest lap, going to be 12 seconds in the lead. And to be fair, I think this should be an easy pass on Erland, unless Goings will have to try and go around the outside or dive up the inside. And yeah, he's going to try and go around the outside. Is he going to try it? He tries it, a bit of contact there, and Erland gets the place taken away. However, now Goings has got another wing damage. So yeah, not the greatest, but he got the move done. And now Daziak is again right behind Erland. But let's actually go on P4 as Kong is right behind Chris Johnson. Obviously there's no move. Let's obviously follow him though until after the tunnel, as you never know, there may be a bit of an attack. We love to see it. We do love to see it. Do love to see it, Jackie. A bit of Jackie Chan. And yeah, Chris Johnson pulls enough of a gap out of the tunnel there. So let's actually have a look at the, Dom Smith holding off Jack Craig, or Elite Shots as he's known on PSM. Obviously, Dom's been on those mediums for 13 laps. Jack Craig's been on them for 1 lap as Bazza gets a 30-second penalty in P5. However, sadly for Dom, he's about to get overtaken and he's 14 seconds behind. And oh, there's a bit of contact there. A bit of contact. That is not good there. And oh, that's I think that's more the game than anything. And yet, Jack Craig there has retired, and there is a virtual safety car. Not that it's going to make a difference with only 3 to 4 laps to go, but yeah, I'll see. Actually, it's not going to help people really, that virtual safety car. Obviously, Jordan's 15 seconds, 16 now seconds ahead of Dexter. Yeah, that move, I don't think it was anyone's fault specifically. I think it was more just a racing incident. Side by side through the tunnel, even the slightest little movement can have a big, drastic effect on sort of the positioning of the car. So it's a massive shame for Elite Shots. His title, as being the favourite for tonight, is going down the shitter, as it were. So not very good for himself. But it's only round 6. There's still plenty of the season to go. So it still could be anyone's game. But yeah, it's not what I like to see. Not what I like to see. But at the moment, then actually the virtual safety car has ended, and Kong is I heard that wheel spin there, and I'm sure you guys did. Is only half a second behind Chris Johnson, but Chris Johnson doing a very good defensive drive at the moment. As you park it in the right places, accelerate in the right places, then you're looking pretty, as it were. But yeah, this is as Bazza gets a penalty again. So at the moment, Dom Smith should get Bazza on penalties. But yeah, Chris Johnson's doing a very good drive. I have to hand him the driver of the day for that, as Goings is now 2 seconds. 2 seconds behind Dom Smith, should I say. So it looks like he's closing on Dom Smith, but the question is, will Dom Smith either go defensive or let Goings through? I actually think Dom Smith will go defensive. Obviously those points are very good. The thing is though, Goings has missing both his end plates, so he runs very wide there. And also, Bazza is right ahead now. I think Bazza has made a mistake, and does he have wing damage? He has no front wing. Bazza has no front wing at all. So that's another place for Goings and Dom Smith. There is, I think Goings actually had a bit of a nudge on Dom Smith there. We'll keep on board with Goings, just so we can see both of the cars are ahead. And to be fair, I don't think Goings can try and move into the tunnel just because he can't get onto the straight quick enough and shoot to the front wing. But at the moment, this is the closest battle. Daziak and his teammate Erland are still half a second gap between each other, but they don't seem to be battling. So we'll keep on board with this for the time being, as Bazza, with no front wing, is still somehow done a whole lap without, and he actually tries to go defensive there and cuts the corner and gets another penalty. But I don't know, will Bazza pit or will he not? That's the key question. I don't think he will, as Goings taps the ring. Bazza does not pit. So this is going to be interesting. I think Dom Smith's going to have to wait. And yeah, actually, Bazza gets out of the way. So I'll see Sportsman. And I think Bazza didn't really. Goings gets another penalty. Goings has another penalty there. But yeah, Bazza, I don't think he expected the wall to come out. I think he nearly did a Philippine Massa. We're going to stay on board with Goings then. Yeah, I think he has about at least 6 seconds worth of penalties now. I don't believe Dom has any, so even if Goings gets past in this lap and a half, I think it will be key. As Dom Smith goes a bit wide there. Goings tries up the inside as Bazza gets another penalty. I think it's really Bazza's fault this time though, just because there's no front wing. I'm not sure how you can get a penalty at the hairpin. But yeah, it's a very interesting one, but we'll keep on board with this as it is now the last lap. And actually Jordan, I'll see halfway around his last lap. We'll jump back to him on there as Goings slight corner cut there, but as Bazza gets another penalty. So that's probably about 20,000 in one race. At the moment, it's yeah, and Goings gets another penalty. So yeah, basically, in short, Goings isn't going to finish ahead of Dom. And Bazar is very sort of slow. I think he's hoping to get lapped. And there's a yellow flag as Bazar has been disqualified actually for corner cutting. And what we're going to do then is we're going to ride on board with Jordan for the last quarter of the lap, just to see him cross the line as a winner. And this is going to extend his lead massively again. 2 McLarens in the top 3. So it's Jordan coming around the last corner to win yet again. Dexter is in P2, 17 seconds off at Monaco. It says it all. And then Chris Johnson will come home in P3, I believe. Kong potentially in P4 with regards to that. Goings will maybe finish in P6. I think Erland does have a few penalties. As Goings has crashed it. Goings on the last lap from P6 has binned it. However, Goings will finish no lower than P9 due to Rebel Kim being lapped. So that's a positive for him at least. He's going to get a point as we can see there is a car crashed. I think that was Goings. But yeah, that's very disappointing from Goings. I'm not too sure what the situation is with that, to be honest with yourself. It's not good. Not good, let's just say that. From P6 to P9. Still gets a point, so not too bad, I guess. But at the moment then, we're looking at Erland coming out of the final corner. Keeps ahead of his teammate by 2.5 seconds. Engel versus Death has actually spun it coming out of the tunnel. Very easy to do. However, I think he may as well just retire because he's not going to finish any worse than he is. So yeah, I actually think he's just gave up on life, as you can see. I think he's dreaming of those yachts. He's thinking, oof, how much would they cost? But sadly, I don't think he's rich enough. Neither am I. But yeah, not the greatest. And I wonder if he's actually run out of fuel, I believe, actually. As Angel vs. Death, as you can see on the counter on the bottom right. As he's actually... Chris Johnson overtaking him. What a move by Chris Johnson. What a move. Even his AI, it's the move. I'm counting it. But yeah, so that was an interesting race then. A lot of action, a lot of disaster, a lot of drama, a lot of overtakes, surprisingly. And a lot of rage quits, I'd say, such as Elite Shots and Goings. But I would say, good for Jordan. Very good for Dexter. P2. I don't think it was that high on the standings before tonight. Kong, P4. He cannot sort of take away from him as Bazar has left. But yeah, there we go. So that was tonight's racing for you. I will go over the standings, obviously, when I get the points. And then that will be it. And there you go. So there's a McLaren driver. Yet another win. Yet another double podium for McLaren. It's looking good for them in the constructors. They have massively, obviously, given or got that gap. Especially at the moment with, obviously, the cars not doing very well in terms of the Alfa Romeos. Not a lot of points tonight for either, obviously, Jack Craig or Inverness fan. So Elite Shots and Inverness fan there. So yeah, not the greatest there. And I would work out the points in a moment, but I'm terrible at them. So here we go. Here are the standings. So Jordan in first place of that race. Dexter, good P2. Chris Johnson, to say qualified P6, I believe it was. It's a good result for him. Kong from 7th to P4, good for himself. Dom Smith, he'll be very happy with that. He'll be very happy, I'm sure. Erland P6, not the 91. Desiak P7. Engel vs. Step, a good result for himself in P8. Goings, very disappointing. As you can see, 12 seconds worth of penalties there. Had he not have binned it, he may have been slightly higher. Rebel Kim P10, so Rebel Kim actually gets another point. And then Elite Shots, Inverness fan, Bossman Sean, and F1 Bazar. And the points then after tonight, so it's Jordan on 104 points, Chris Johnson on 89, so it's a good gap for Jordan there. Erland in P3 on 67, Jack Craig on 63, and Goings on 52. So a very, very good result for Jordan there. Very good. It could be his to lose. It's only the 6th round, anything can happen. But you have been watching TGP tonight. I have been the Soft Cop, the one and only, of course. It's been an absolute pleasure.